Namaste, dear listeners. Welcome to the Iowa channel, Astro in with Abhi, Oneness in Astrology and Spirituality, bringing in awareness for Abhi. Thank you so much to everybody that have joined my TikTok live, where I've discussed the whole general report for all Sun, Moon, and Ascendant signs for this full moon lunar eclipse. Now, I've got another beautiful question, which I have deliberately chose not to do a podcast in over the last 2 weeks. And I've deliberately done this purely because I wanted to make sure that I handle this podcast in a way that you will understand it, opposed to doing it how I would normally would do it with somebody who is on that spiritual journey. Obviously, the whole reason for this podcast is so that you can comprehend whatever is being said and you can understand it and obviously make sense of everything. So before I give you the question, I would like you to hit the subscribe button, share this podcast with as many people as you think that will benefit from my insights, and definitely hit the like button. So the question reads, Hi Abhi, I have watched a very interesting video on TikTok where a medium has been demonstrating the Kundalini awakening with her clients. I would like to know what is happening. Why does the body shake like that? And is this real? If so, please can you advise me how can I get mine awakened now? Beautiful question. And now you can see why I've deliberately chose not to handle this question up until I found a way to talk it in a more comprehensible way. So let's answer the first question. Is this real? Well, it is very real. Yes. But this is the beginning stages of the Kundalini awakening. I have done a separate podcast on what is Kundalini. I have done another podcast on how to awaken it. I've done another podcast on the dangers of awakening it without proper guidance. I've also done a podcast, a separate podcast explaining that there is no quick fixes. There is no quick processes. You have to deal with it in a healthy manner because the consequences of it is disastrous, not just to the mind, not just to the spirit, but the most important thing that you are carrying here with you, and that's your vehicle. In fact, the vehicle is carrying you on this planet. Without this vehicle, you've got not much to experience in it. So, why would you want to destroy that body by awakening a certain dimension within you, yet your body is unable to handle such kind of energy? So, why does the body shake? The body shakes because there is so much of concentration in whatever dimension of realities you are in. For example, let's just say you are um, in Shiv Shakti. If you are focused on Shiv Shakti, the feminine and masculine energies, the masculine and feminine energies within you, you are focusing on Shiv Shakti and you are awakening that Shakti within you to rise and meet the Shiva, which is up the chakra system. And as that energy rises, obviously in the beginning stages, the body starts to do things, it starts to act out in a certain way. I know personally when I went through this year, my body would shake a lot. My fingers would twitch. The first, if I can remember correctly, a good number of years ago, I would feel the twitching of my fingers. I would feel the shaking of my body back and forth. Then I would experience the movement of my hands. My hands would shake. They would shake a lot. And then it started to get a bit more severe where my head would jerk. Um, then it started getting more amplified where my body would start to jerk with such force that I think if anybody was near me, they would probably get hurt with that force. I'm aware of it. I used to be aware of it, but I was also in that space where I did not want to come out of my meditative space. I did not want to break that channeling of energy, so I continued in that process. And with time, obviously, with time, as the body got used to this kind of energy, I started to, absorb, or not actually absorb, but I started to become more accustomed to this force that's within you. This is the Shakti. This is the force, the feminine. This is the Shakti that is rising within you. So this is definitely, real. This is a real thing. But what does this mean for you as a person? Why would you want to do such a thing? If you're not in the spiritual path, or if you're not interested in the spiritual path, this is nothing that you should be really bothered about. You should just focus on the fundamental basics of everything, and maneuver yourself uh, just by focusing on the basics. Now, before I move any more forward, I would like to advise you also that Kundalini energy, whether you believe in it or you don't believe in it, it doesn't change. The fact is, it's there. It's a real thing. Basically, if you are alive right now and listening to the podcast, your Kundalini, the force within you, has some kind of an awakening. The fact that you are life itself means that you're part of this energy. It's just that that energy has been laying dormant. Most of it has been laying dormant in the root dimension. And it hasn't channeled itself up to meet the masculine, up the chakra system. You never rose this energy. The energy has to rise and you haven't risen it. So when you see the people jerking and shaking, this is real. Energies are basically doing its part in the body, but this is the beginning stages of the awakening. This is the beginning stages of the Kundalini rising. This is the beginning stages of energy moving up the chakra system. So fundamentally, how I would like to describe the Kundalini awakening is the force moving up the chakra system, working its way up through meditation, through bhakti yoga, karma yoga, kriya yoga, and gyan yoga. There's various other yogas you can do this with, but meditation for me personally, bhakti yoga and meditation has been something that I've been focused on for a number of years now, especially bhakti yoga for a good 22, 23 odd years. But I would say more profoundly, more strongly, with much force, I've been meditating for at least 7 years now, with a lot of um, like allowing myself to be in a meditative space throughout the day. I would say good 7 years now. Prior to that, it's just been meditation at night, which allowed me to make sure that I can handle such energies. I never wanted to force this too quickly. Why? Because obviously I didn't want to create any issues in my body. I do not want to create any issues in my capacity, my logical mind, and definitely my spirit. Spirit is who I am. Consciousness. I do not want to mess up my spiritual progress. And there are a lot of people that do this. They do mess it up. From something beautiful, you can create something very nasty from it, and therefore you shut the door on this there. And obviously, with anything in life, there's the correct way of dealing with things, and then there are various ways that you can deal with things, which can bring you a very bitter taste from an experience point of view. And so I hope you understand. I've answered both questions, and I would also like to mention that um, though I do help clients awaken their kundali. That's the whole reason why these podcasts are created. Awakening of the kundali basically means the same thing as rising up the chakra system, allowing your force to rise up the chakra system. And this is what I do in my teachings. I teach you how to live a certain way. I teach you how to practice certain things so that you can rise it up slowly but surely in time. So I teach you, you got to listen to this podcast. You got to read my content on Awareness Bobby. You got to listen to all my insights and apply these things. And as a consequence, you will rise. Your Kundalini will awaken. It'll rise, and that's the awakening. Right. So thank you very, very much for your question. I won't mention the name. Before I go, I would like you all to forward this podcast to anybody that you think would benefit from this session. And also make sure that you've hit the subscribe button, like as well. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Am Namah Shivaya, Hari Bol, goodbye.